Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of my X Factor series where I've been looking back at the X Factor over the years and reminiscing about what I love about the show. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll leave a link somewhere up here for you to go and watch that if you want. In that video I discuss the judges and celebrity performances. But in this video I'll be talking about the past contestants and winners and also the charity singles, because to be honest it's the contestants that make up the show. So since it was over 10 years ago when the show started, I can't quite remember a lot of the contestants in the early days, but if we go all the way back to 2004, the first winner was of course Steve Brookstein, and I don't really remember him in the show. He didn't really do anything afterwards, kind of just got dropped and that was it. And let's just move straight on to 2005, and the winner was Shane Ward, and he was good throughout the series, but I kind of thought, who is he, where did he come from? He just sort of snuck into the final. I didn't really remember much of him throughout the series, and then all of a sudden he won. I mean, he's a good singer, but I just didn't think he was the winner for me, and obviously he's done quite well, but not brilliantly compared to some of the other winners. And now we move on to 2006, and of course the winner was Leona Lewis, and in my eyes she is the official X Factor winner. She's just absolutely brilliant. She was a standout throughout the entire series. You could tell she was going to win. She was just one of the best. And the runner-up of course was Ray Quinn, and he was really good as well. I mean, he's doing different things in Broadway now after the show and stuff like that, which is brilliant, but you could just tell that Leona was so much better than him. She had so much more star quality, and the voice was just epic throughout the entire series, and she just had to win, and it was brilliant when she won. So like I say, she is one of my favourite X Factor winners, and obviously the following year she released her album with the single Bleeding Love, which was just fantastic. The album as well, Spirit, and I obviously went out and bought that, definitely. It was the deluxe edition with the additional songs when she did Run and stuff like that, but it's just such a great album. I'm so glad I got it, and she's just the winner. Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. So obviously after having 2006 being such a brilliant year, we had to kind of follow up with another good year for 2007, and the winner was Leon Jackson, and he was good, and I think he was the right winner for the year, but he did get dropped, and it wasn't like he had a brilliant career, but I don't know, I liked him, but it's just the way it happens sometimes. And if you remember in that year, Ridian came second, and he was quite good. He did an album as well, and he was quite funny and quirky and different things. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan or anything, but yeah. And third was Same Difference, and do you remember them? Oh my god, were they twins? There was like the brother and sister, and they always did like the pop, cheesy pop like songs. I'm sure they did like High School Musical and stuff like that, but they were actually quite good singers and fun and everything, so I did enjoy watching them. And now we move on to 2008, which was one of my absolute favourite years of all time from the X Factor, and of course the winner was Alexandra Burke, and she was just brilliant throughout the series. You could just tell she was going to be one of the winners, but then JLS was of course the runner-up, and it was hard to tell whether they were going to win or Alexandra Burke, because obviously no group had won up until that point, and I'm really glad that Alexandra won, because obviously both of them have done quite well, and then JLS have moved on and done brilliant things, and obviously had their greatest hits, and now they've kind of gone for a break now, but yeah, I just think Alexandra was a really good winner in my eyes, and the winner song Hallelujah was brilliant. I love the video, everything was just brilliant about that. But similar to Leona Lewis, of course, Alexandra Burke is one of my favourite winners as well, and I got her deluxe album when it came out, and it's just brilliant. She's got so many cool songs, and of course it's got the Hallelujah song on as well and different things, and it's just such a good listen. I really like her so much. 2008 also saw the first charity single that the series did, and I'll talk about that a little bit later as I discuss all of the charity singles, but it was just so good to see like the entire contestants come together and sing the song, and then have the music video as well, and it was just brilliant. But oh yeah. And like I said in the previous video, 2008 to 2010 was my favourite era of the entire show, because it wasn't just the judges, it was the contestants that made the show, and it just made it so much better and more fun to watch as well. Sticking with 2008 though, we had some brilliant contestants, not just in the final but other people as well. If you remember Diana Vickers, she was one of my favourites. She was brilliant. She had such a different voice, it was so good to hear her sing. And obviously she did have her album, which came out a few years ago, and of course I have that as well. I love the singles that came out on that album, but it's just so much fun. She has such a cool different voice, and she has a second album out as well, which I haven't got around to buying yet, but seriously, throughout the show she was just so brilliant. Do you remember when she was ill, actually she had to skip a week because of her voice, and they said like she was putting strain on her voice the way she sings. Other contestants from that year, I remember Laura White. She was brilliant. I think she did Titanic, and that was kind of when you thought, oh, she's probably going to win, and then she kind of got kicked out, and then Alexandra Burke kind of stepped it up, but she was brilliant. Also Ruth Lorenzo, if you remember her, I think she was Spanish. She even sang a couple of songs, half in Spanish, half in English at some point, and yeah, she was good. It was a good year just to sort of watch all of them come together, and it was just so much fun. So if we move on to 2009, the winner was Joe McElderry, and I really liked him. He was good throughout the series. It's Geordie Joe, you know. But yeah, he was good. He was a good singer, and obviously he won. But runner-up was Ollie Murs, and he's done phenomenally well as well. I mean, he's just so much fun. He's brilliant. He's got so many albums out. He's just so fun and quirky. Now obviously he presents the show, and he's just done so well. I remember watching Ollie on the live shows. He just brought so much funness to his performances. It was just so great to watch him. And of course in third place we had Stacey Solomon, and she has such a good voice. I absolutely love her voice throughout the whole show. She was brilliant. That's kind of just what made the final so brilliant, them three, because you couldn't tell who was going to win. It was just such a brilliant year, and Stacey was so great. I mean, I know she got slated for the way she talks and different things, and she is funny and quirky and stuff, but she's just brilliant. So like I said, Joe won, and the winner single was The Climb, and this is actually the first winner single that I bought. I'm not too sure why I didn't buy any of the others or whatever, but yeah, so I'm kind of glad that I got that. Other people from this series that makes it stand out in my memory is of course Jedward. They were just all kinds of crazy. I mean, they were almost like the original quirky act that they have every year now kind of thing, and their hair was just weird, and they did so many weird space songs, and I don't know what they did, I can't remember, but it was just different and fun every single week, that kind of thing. This year also had Lloyd Daniels, and back in the day, oh my god, he was so cute. I don't even know how old he was, but he had like the blonde hair and everything, and he had such a good voice as well. I mean, he's one of the ones that kind of got lost throughout the series because of all the other bigger voices, but it was always fun watching him, so yeah. And of course, being such a big fan of Ollie Murs, I have most of the albums. So that's his second album and his third album, and then obviously the one that got released just last year. I mean, he has such a great sound to him. I mean, all of the singles that he releases are just brilliant and fun, and the videos are fun and quirky, and he's just such a fun and lovable guy. I mean, I don't know why anyone wouldn't like him. It's just, he's so much fun, yeah. Oh, and I'm loving his new song as well, by the way. It's so good. He's probably going to perform it on the show at some point. I really hope he does. So now we move on to 2010, and this is officially my favourite year of all time. I love looking back and reminiscing about this series. The Contestants just made it so brilliant for me. So the winner was Matt Cardle, and of course I have the winner single here as well. And it's quite good. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of him, but I wanted the single, and I really liked him throughout the series as well. However, the runner-up was Rebecca Ferguson, and I wanted her to win. Throughout most of the years watching it, the people who I wanted to win did win, and this was the first year that the person who I wanted to win didn't win, so I was a bit like, but she was brilliant. I loved her voice throughout the whole series. I have her CD, of course, yeah, and she's just so good. I mean, the voice, brilliant. And of course in third place was One Direction, and everyone knows how well they've done, I don't even need to say it. But in the show they were so brilliant. They were put together from the individual boys category as a 5-piece, and this was such a good idea. But at the time I really liked Liam Payne, and I really wanted him to stay as a solo artist, and I'm obviously really glad that he didn't do that, because it's just brilliant the way that it is now. And I remember watching them, and there was different things, and Harry was obviously like the standout performer, and they just kind of grew up on the show, which was brilliant. And I remember that time when Zayn didn't want to dance, and they were all like, oh well, this is what you've got to do in this career and stuff like that, and it was just so much fun. I only actually have one of their albums, and that is the second one, and I do like most of their songs, which are just brilliant. I just haven't got around to buying the albums, so yeah. But we've only just begun getting into why I love this year so much. I mean, the other contestants, I mean, there was Cher Lloyd. Throughout the series, she was actually really good, and obviously she was Cheryl's contestant, and she kind of stylized herself around Cheryl and became a mini Cheryl, which was quite weird. But I liked her voice, and she was brilliant, and most of the songs that she did were so good, and the vocals and just everything. Also, one of my favourite contestants from this year was Aidan Grimshaw, and I know a lot of people don't remember him, but my god, he was just brilliant throughout the whole series. His voice is just so different and stand out, and I just absolutely loved him throughout the whole series. It just made the series so fun just to watch all these different contestants, and you'd want to see them week after week. Just absolutely loved it. He released an album as well, and of course I have that, and it's so good. You should definitely go check that out, like right now, before you even finish this video. Just go check Aidan Grimshaw out right now. Another contestant was Katie Waisel, and I remember her, but she was just like, I don't know what she was. People seemed to hate on her for whatever reason, I don't know, she did some stuff, but she was alright, but she just wasn't as good as, like, say, Cher Lloyd. She was kind of maybe compared to her a bit, but I don't know. Katie Waisel, I remember you. And then Wagner, or Wagner. Wagner? I don't know. What is it, Louis?
It is Wagner, Louis.
Okay. Yeah, he was like the joke character again throughout the series, and he was good, I guess. I don't really know, to be honest. I didn't like him. I didn't like watching him. It was just comical every week, and then Louis would get his name wrong all the time, even though it was his contestant. I don't know. It's just Wagner. What else can you say? But like I keep saying, it was such a good year, and I love to just reminisce about that year. I mean, I was in high school. It was kind of when I was growing up, and sort of discovering myself as well, and maybe that's why I remember it more, but I don't know, I just love the series so much, The Contestants. Why can't we have a series like that every year? I mean, it was just so much fun. So we're into 2011 now, and this is kind of when it all got changed. The judges were they all kind of changed the entire panel except Louis, and it just wasn't a brilliant year for me compared to the previous. Obviously, I think it was just because we had such a good year beforehand, or good 3 years. I just think it wasn't as good for me. So the winner was Little Mix, and obviously they have done brilliantly well. I mean, girl bands are my thing, and it was the first group to have ever won, and they were so good. Perry, I mean, oh, she's so good. But yeah, I have the winner single, which was kind of, well, I'm not too massive on the song, but I'm glad I got it anyway, because I like them, and it was their first single, so yeah. And the runner-up was Marcus Collins, and I loved him. He was brilliant throughout the series. And then in third place we had Amelia Lilly, and this is when like the whole controversy thing happened at the start of the year. I think they had the 12 finalists, but then they brought in 4 wild cards instead of 1. And so there was 16, and then I think in the first live show they got rid of 4 people. So it was basically just got rid of the wild cards kind of thing. I don't know. She either went in that first week or the second. It was really early on. And then obviously different things happened in the series, as in Frankie Kokoza, he kind of got kicked out of the show basically. It doesn't surprise us the way he went on, whatever. They had a vote as to who they were going to bring back kind of thing, and obviously Amelia Lilly just stood out so brilliantly. I remember when she came back and she had that big dress on, I think, because she had like the blonde hair and then it went into like that pink hair, but it looked quite good. There were some other memorable contestants on this year, as I remember Misha B. She was good. She was a bit of a diva, yeah. Katie Brocknell as well. They were 2 diva type characters. They kind of clashed at one point. It was during the Gaga versus Queen week, if you remember. I think Misha B and Katie both wanted to do Born This Way, and then Misha kind of got her way in the end, I think. But yeah, I don't know, it was all over the papers and stuff like that. And like I said, Frankie Kokoza as well. I mean, we don't really need to talk about him, but he got kicked out. That's all you need to know. But all in all, it wasn't a brilliant year for me. I mean, I'm glad the winner came out of it as they did, but I just wasn't a fan of Talisa or the new judging panel or anything. It just wasn't as good. 2012 wasn't too bad either. It kind of got worse and worse as the years went on, but I don't know. The winner was just a catastrophe. I mean, it was, what's his face? What do you call him? James Arthur. Yeah. No. Didn't do anything for me. In the final we also had Jermaine Douglas and Christopher Maloney, and they were good as well. I don't know, it just wasn't such a standout series for me. Again, I mean, there was Lucy Spraggan as well, she was good. Also Ella Henderson was brilliant in the year. I mean, obviously she's done really well now, but she kind of just came out of nowhere after 2012 and then suddenly released her new song however many months ago, and it's nice to see when contestants do well after the show, even if they didn't make the final. Similarly, we also had Union J in this year and District 3. I remember it was basically always the clash of the boy bands, and they would always try to like compete against one another, but I'm glad Union J did better than them just because I preferred them, and they were good throughout the year. And of course this series also brought Rylan Clark. Need I say any more? I mean, a lot of people don't like him, but I like him. He was brilliant throughout the series, and he was just such a good performer, and then they brought him back for the final, for like when they bring back all the joke contestants and stuff, but he was just so much fun. He brought like the fun factor, as they say. He hosts Big Brother's Bit on the Side now, and he also has a spot on This Morning as well, so I mean, he's doing pretty brilliantly. I'm not jealous of you, Rylan. So in 2013 the winner was Sam Bailey, and she was brilliant. I really liked her, she had a good voice. I'm glad she won, and obviously it was the 10th anniversary for that year, so they brought Sharon Osbourne back and she was her contestant. It was an alright year. I don't really remember much about the contestants. I mean, we had Nicholas McDonald and Luke Friend, they were good, and Sam Callahan had the body and got the votes from that kind of thing. I mean, he was a good singer as well, I know. But yeah, these past 3 years were just not as good. However, if we move on to 2014, and this is when it starts to get good again, because obviously they brought back the good judges. I mean, Simon, Cheryl, and then of course Mel B. Bit of mixed feelings on her, but it was just such a much better year. I was more pumped to watch it, as many people were. Ben Haynau was of course the winner. I actually liked him throughout the whole series. I'm glad he won, apart from Fleur East came second, so it was very hard for me to decide between the two, and I kind of think I wanted Fleur to win, but they both got signed anyway. Andrea Faustini was third. He likes pugs. Jake Quickenden is another contestant. He was alright, but Ben Haynau was kind of better, so he kind of like didn't really do as well throughout the show, but then he suddenly was in the jungle before the show even finished. Yeah. Chloe Jasmine and Stevie Ritchie, I mean, talk about joke contestant. Stevie Ritchie, what were you doing the whole year? Why were you on there? I mean, I just didn't get it. Fair enough, I kind of like the joke contestants, Rylan, Wagner, Jedward, all of them, just different ones, but he just was too far for me. Chloe Jasmine, I liked her, she was brilliant. I loved the whole posh exterior personality thing that she had going on, and I'm kind of talking about them together, obviously because they are together and engaged now. But Stevie Ritchie, I mean, it was a chore to watch that every week. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but all in all, it was a good year compared to the 3 years, so it was nice to watch. And finally, if we move on to this year, I'm really enjoying this year actually. There's quite a few contestants that I'm enjoying watching. So even this early on, I kind of have a couple of favourites that I want to be in the final. And this is Louisa Johnson, Che Chesterman and Fourth Impact. I'm really enjoying Max Stone as well. I think he's really good. He might actually sneak up into the final as well. He's definitely one to watch. But oh my god, I just need to say about Sean Miley Moore, because he was actually in my top 4 as well, and I can't believe he's gone out in week 2. I think it's absolutely shocking that he went out. I mean, the sing-off was between him and Mason Noyes, and fair enough, Mason's not awful, but when you compare the two, and then some of the other people who got through, I'm not going to name names, but you just think, why did this happen? It's really ridiculous, and I know the show always does this sort of thing. It's really annoying, and I'm so annoyed that it went to the public vote again, but whatever, that's all I'm going to say about it. But he was in my top 4 originally, and he would have been in the final in my opinion. So that's all I have to say about this year. And before I finish, I just want to quickly talk about the charity singles. So there were 4 charity singles starting in 2008 up to 2011. And so the 2008 single was Hero, and this was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Diana Vickers' voice was great. Alexandra Burke, just phenomenal. It was just a great performance. You should go watch the video on YouTube now. And for 2009 they did You Are Not Alone, and I'm not too sure whether I like this more or slightly less than the Hero song, because they were both just really good, but I love the vocals in it just as much. I mean, Lloyd Daniels and Jedward were actually alright as well. They don't feature too much in it, and obviously Joe McElderry, Ollie Murs and Stacey Solomon, they're just absolutely brilliant. You should definitely go watch that one as well. And like I said, 2010 is my absolute favourite year for judges, contestants, everything, and it's no different for the charity single as well, because Heroes is my absolute favourite out of all of them, and the video is quite cool. It's different to how they did it to the previous 2 years. It's kind of like in a studio and it's all black and white. Matt Cardle was brilliant, Rebecca Ferguson, One Direction, everyone, Aidan Grimshaw, I mean, just go watch it, it is so brilliant, oh my god. And the final charity single is Wishing on a Star, and this was 2011, and it was just an absolute train wreck. Like, the song isn't even that good. I mean, it's alright. I mean, the vocals, Marcus Collins is alright, but it was auto-tuned, and Misha B, they were alright, and then suddenly JLS and One Direction made an appearance, and it's like, this is the 2011 Contestants, yeah, and you just think, yeah, fine, they're great people and groups and acts and stuff, but why are they here performing with the contestants? And I don't know, I know it was for charity, but it just didn't stand out as well compared to the other 3 songs, so go watch that video if you want. It's a bit of a train wreck, to be fair. It's just like, I don't know. But yeah, I absolutely love the charity singles. I'm really sad that they didn't do any more after that. I don't know, maybe they should do one this year, I'm not sure, but it's great when they perform them live as well. Obviously they do the performances live each Sunday on the results show where they do a group performance, but it was just so fun to see them perform as a group, the charity single. And like I said, 2010 was just so brilliant for me. So yeah, that's my rundown of the X Factor over the past 12 years, and I hope you've enjoyed watching and looking back fondly as I have at all the different things that have happened, and I can't wait to just keep watching and seeing what more brilliant things are going to happen, and new contestants and different artists that are going to come out of the show. But yeah, just to reiterate, Leona Lewis, best winner, 2010, best year. Other great artists, Ollie Murs, Diana Vickers, Aidan Grimshaw and Alexandra Burke. And not to mention Little Mix and One Direction, of course. It's just been so brilliant, and thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. I post videos every Wednesday, so subscribe if you don't want to miss any of them. And thanks for watching. Bye guys.